Hi guys, today we're going to be looking at the division property of exponents. And so before we were looking at when you multiply exponents, what do you do with the actual numbers that are in the exponents? Now we're going to see what happens when you have something dividing, so like in a fraction, something on top, something on the bottom. What are you going to do with those exponents? So here we have the example where it's 5 to the 7th power over 5 to the 4th power. So if we expand them to actually see what this looks like, we have 5 7s being multiplied by themselves, and on the bottom we have 4 5s, sorry, I said that wrong, 7 5s multiplying on top, and 4 5s being multiplied on the bottom. And if we could cross out the things that they have on top and bottom, we would only be left with 2 5s on top. And 5 times 5, well, that's 5 squared, which is actually 25. So same thing here. Let's see what happens. I have 5 A's and 3 A's on the bottom. If I cancel these out, I'm left with just 2 A's on top, and so A times A, I'm left with A squared. So based on this example, let's see what is the actual formula, or what is the actual property that we use when we have this. So if you notice, when we were multiplying this, the numerator of both of them was actually, the exponent of both of them ended up subtracting. So the numerator's exponent minus the denominator's exponent. This is the formula that you need to know for sure. This is called the division property of exponents. So here, for example, we have p to the 5th over p to the 2nd. So that's going to be p to the 5th minus 2, which is going to end up being p to the 3rd, and that's the division property. Now let's apply it here. Remember, it could be variables as bases or numbers as bases. Here we have 3, so that's 3 to the 3 minus 2, so that's going to be 3 to the 1, which is just 3. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at example 2. In example 2, we have 8a to the 6th times 2b to the 8th, and then we have a to the negative 2, 4b to the 5. Okay, here we need to do everything that we learned. So first, let's go ahead and get our numbers together. So that's going to be 8 and 2, and then 4 on the bottom. So this is going to be 8 times 2, and then on the bottom I have 4. So okay, I've split that up that way. Now we're going to do the a's together. So we're going to have a to the 6th on top times b to the 8th. On the bottom I have a to the negative 2, so I put my a's together, and then I put my b's together. So now I'm going to do my property rule. Okay, I have 6 and negative 2. So that's going to be a to the 6 minus 2. So that's going to be a to the 4, which is negative. So remember, a negative exponent means it has to go in the denominator. That's what this means. Now, I don't actually see it like this. Let me tell you what I do. Instead of seeing it as a negative, I just think of this, okay? I have 6 on top, and a to the negative 2 means I have to put them up here. So that's going to be a to the 6th, a squared. That negative exponent tells me to put it in the opposite side, okay? So a negative 2 is going to tell me move it up. So it's going to be a squared times a to the 6th. Well, now I'm just going to apply my multiplication property, which is going to be a to the 8th. So now I have a to the 8th on top. Now here I have 8 on top, 5 on the bottom. So really 8 minus 5, that's going to give me 3 on top. Okay, now let me give you another example. Let me say that I have b to the 4th and b to the 5th, like that. Okay, instead of doing 4 minus 5 and then getting a negative and then putting it down, I just count. I have 4 up here that are going to cancel 4 down here. So if I cross out 4 up here, that's going to cancel 4 down there, and so I'm just going to be left with 1. So that's going to be b to the 1 in the denominator. So that way I even just forget about having to have a negative exponent and having to move it. I just look at where they're going to cancel and where are they going to end up. So here we go. Let's go ahead and simplify this. After we did a to the 6th times a squared, that's a to the 8th, and then b to the 3rd on top. This would be 8 times 2, that's 16 divided by 4, that gives me 4. So my final answer is going to be 4 a to the 8th, b to the 3rd. And so basically what you see, that the rule is that when the terms have the same base, the exponents are going to the rule for negative terms, that's what is there. You switch the exponents to the opposite side. So numerator goes to the denominator, denominator goes to the numerator. To the opposite side. Okay. Okay, now there is one more thing that we need to cover, which is a quotient. When you have a fractions being raised to a power, we did similarly when you have something inside like this and it's on the outside, you did a to the m, b to the m. Well, now we're going to have a quotient, something that's being divided, and the same rule is going to apply. If I have two things that are being divided, it's a quotient or a fraction, I'm going to distribute the exponent to the top, and I'm also going to give it to the bottom. So it's going to be a to the n over b to the n. This is something you need to have memorized. This is called the quotient raised to a power rule. Okay, so here let's go ahead and apply it. T to the second, s to the fourth, all raised to the third. So it's going to be t squared to the third, s to the fourth to the third. So now I'm going to apply the rules that I've learned. This is going to be 2 times 3, that's going to be t to the 6th. This is going to be s to the 4 times 3, which is going to be s to the 12th. And so this is going to be 4 to the 2, 4, so now this is another problem, sorry. This is going to be my final answer for this one. Now on the bottom one, same thing, 4 squared to the third and 2 to the third. So I'm going to distribute to each one, so now it's being raised to the third. The top is 4 squared to the third, so that's going to give me 4 to the 2 times 3, which is going to be 4 to the 6th. And then on the bottom, 2 to the third, that's 8. So then I just simplify this. I put it into my calculator, I divide, and my final answer is 512. And that's all we need to know, guys.